Hey guys, Jonathan here, and in today's video, I'll be showing you my mock build of Nelson and Murdoch and the Fisk Tower, both from the Daredevil universe, using 100% LEGO pieces that came in the Spider-Man Spider-Verse Bodega, the Peter Parker's apartment set, and the Spider-Man vs. Oscorp set. Now, LEGO sent me all 3 copies of that to make this video with, so a huge shout out to the LEGO group for supplying those sets, and I did a little bit of rough math here. So if you got all 3 sets, the total would come out to $245 to get all 3 sets, and that's all you need to build these. Now, there's actually a lot of pieces left over, and there's a third build which I'm going to showcase in another video, but since it didn't tie into the Daredevil universe, I just kind of wanted these two to be in their own video, so stay tuned for the next part of that. But yeah, let's start breaking it down. Now, of course, the minifigures here are the big sticking point, because you can't build these figures with the figures that come in the sets. You will need pieces from, other sets and other collections, and I've broken all of these customs down in other videos on the channel, so I recommend checking out those. This video is just going to be focused on the builds of Fisk Tower and Nelson and Murdoch, so let's start breaking it down. So we'll start things off with Fisk Tower. Now, this isn't exactly the color choice that I would use if I was going to build like a Fisk Tower, but remember, the challenge is to only use pieces that come in the copies of the sets mentioned here, so using that challenge, I'm actually very happy with the way things turned out. So starting on the ground floor, one of the more difficult things to do was to actually build the word Fisk out of the pieces used here. Once again, I wish I had different colors to work with, but given the piece allotment in these sets, it was the best color choice to go ahead and build F-I-S-K. Now, of course, this front door opens, and the general bottom aesthetic is borrowed from the bodega with, like, the corner entry there. But when we get into the ground floor, you can see we've got a little check-in desk here where a Fisk employee could sit to check in any guests that are coming to Fisk Tower. On the second floor, I went ahead and built an art gallery. Of course, we know Vanessa in the Daredevil series loves her art, so I thought that this would be fun. We've got, like, a check-in, a tribute to Tony Stark here, and all kinds of gemstones that are on display, as well as some artistic tapestries hanging from the wall in the back. And on the top floor, we, of course, have Fisk's office. Now, he's got his desk here. I actually could probably move that back a stud to make some more space. But we also have that white piece of art, if you'll call it that hangs in his office in the show. We all know where that comes from, of course, from his childhood home. And we can see he's reading Times Scare about the Green Goblin. And then we have a rooftop, which is perfect for Fisk and Daredevil to have an epic fight on the roof. Now, when we flip the building around front, you can see that I also included some of the original holes that are in the Peter Parker apartment. That way, Daredevil could swing by Fisk's office, both literally and figuratively. And I also put this bar here so that Daredevil can grip onto that. So, if he needs to scale the wall to get up to the rooftop of Fisk Tower, he can. And, of course, I put these little ledges here so Daredevil can stand and watch over the city. Definitely something I could see Daredevil getting into. But overall, I'm very, very happy with the construction of this. Once again, I would have preferred to use different colors than what was used here. But my favorite way to mock build is doing only pieces that come in the sets available challenge. So this way, anybody could go to the store and buy these sets and build exactly what you see here. But next, let's talk about Nelson and Murdoch. This is actually what inspired the entire project, and I'm really, really excited about it. So, of course, you can see we definitely borrowed a lot of design cues from the official sets, right? We have Peter Parker's apartment, Miles's apartment up top, and then all that good stuff. I wanted it to kind of feel like Daredevil's mask. So if you look at the Daredevil minifigure, we have red on top, and then you can see, like, Matt's face on the bottom. So in a way, it kind of feels like it looks like Daredevil. If I had more pieces to work with, it would have been cool to, like, make the walls red and maybe only give it, like, 2 windows or something. But again, I wanted to go for simplicity, and with limited pieces, you do have to kind of conform to what's there. But on the inside, I definitely went with a lot more detail here than Fisk Tower. So on the ground floor, of course, we have Nelson and Murdoch. We've got tables, chairs and a table for, Daredevil and his friends to be able to sit and handle business together. Now, of course, I did plan for this chair to double as both chair to eat, and it can spin around to use the computer. Although, admittedly, I don't know how much Matt Murdock is using the computer, but still, works out pretty well there. We've got some popcorn snacks there, and then, of course, we have their first $100 bill that they ever earned. I thought that was like a cool thing to host there. And then as we move up a floor, we have Matt's bedroom. As you can see, we've got a little fan there that can oscillate around the room. We've got a bed where, again, it uses the same design from the set, the major sets that these are coming from. And I built a little barbell here, and he's got a little, I guess, bed there. I don't know what you would call that. A bench, that's what I'm thinking, to be able to, get some lifting in. And then, of course, we can zoom back out, and I did keep that same play feature from the actual set where we could make the, attic part pop out, so we could go ahead and put the Daredevil suit on display up there, because, of course, Matt needs to hide his suit from any visitors that come over, and we can move this pin, and now the suit drops out for Matt to be able to suit up and change into his Daredevil outfit, and then, of course, that clips perfectly back there. You can put the roof piece back on. And when I built out the roof, I wanted to leave some studs here so that Daredevil can stand and look over the city just like we know he loves to. So I'm super happy with the way that this turned out. I'll give you a 360 again so you can see everything so that if you want to try to build this, you can. And then the other thing to talk about, of course, is the fact that I left some Technic pins on the side here where we can put this piece back into place. This is just kind of like the street sign here. If you wanted to use this, then of course you could move the stoplight to be a little bit more centralized. And then Fisk Tower can slide right in like this. And now you could have an entire corner building with Nelson and Murdoch and Fisk Enterprises side by side. So I'm very happy with the way this turned out, and we'll go ahead and wrap up the video now. All right, guys, be sure to let me know what you think of these builds, and if you have any questions on how to make them, let me know in the comments. Sadly, I don't know how to make LEGO instructions. If anybody out there does and wants to collaborate and help make instructions so that everybody can build these, definitely reach out and, maybe we could work something out. But anyways, let me know what you think of these. Be sure to hit like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next video.